This video shows you how to use an anchored resistance band to work your core's rotational strength. You start off, of course, with wrapping a resistance band around the post, or something that's very sturdy that can hold resistance. Now keep in mind, this is not an anti-rotation exercise, this is a rotational exercise. So now this introduces a few more complex movement patterns than just an anti-rotation. This is a great skill to learn for athletes who really need to link the lower body and the upper body in rotational movements. But rotational core strength is actually something that almost everybody does on a day-to-day basis. It requires skill because you also have to learn the technique and the coordination of different muscles and the timing in order to get more efficient and stronger in this movement. Now let's start off with the basics. We like to start off at around mid-torso height. Start off almost like a Pallof press, where you start with a little bit of tension off the bat. I'm going to step out a little bit more. And now instead of an anti-rotation, where I'm just moving my arms, I'm actually going to move my whole body. So I'm moving my hips, my obliques are also helping to twist, and my shoulders are also all moving together. Now, my arms are also locked out. I'm not using my biceps to help curl it up. We want to keep everything tight. Lock it in so everything is stiff and tight from the wrist where you're holding, elbow joint, and this part of your shoulder joint. However, we actually want the other parts of your shoulder joint to be able to rotate. If you have a history of low back pain, you really have to be careful before you do this exercise. I would actually recommend that you go see a professional trainer or physio who's qualified in low back rehab before doing any sort of rotational training. This is because it's easy for your lower back to take over for many exercises. However, this specifically causes extra forces that you may not be used to. You may already be experiencing some discomfort if you hyperextend or hyperflex, but now adding a rotational aspect, if you're not using your abs properly or your obliques and your core properly, then it's likely that you're twisting with your lower back, adding more load onto it. Now, if you do try it, you can mitigate it a few ways. Make sure that you're bracing properly. And the way that we do that is to take a deep breath in with our diaphragm. It's a bit of a mix. We want to fill up all the air, everything we can, all the space around our torso. So a deep breath does not just look like this, where it's all up in the chest, and it doesn't just look like this. We want full expansion everywhere. So if you put your hands on your obliques here, push in, and now try and take a deep breath so that you're actually expanding and pushing out your hands. I'll stand a little closer so you can see this sideways. That's going to provide stability around your spine so it's less likely for you to hurt it. However, the other part is that you gotta get used to using your obliques and your glutes together to help rotate. Otherwise, it's very easy to rotate with your lower back. And that extra hyperextension is unnecessary and can cause irritation and discomfort between your vertebral discs. So again, learning to brace. Once you have it filled, you brace yourself. Pretend like someone's gonna kick you right in the stomach. You're gonna brace hard. That is what we want you feeling every single rep. And once again, focus on a full range of motion. Now also consider that you can hold the band in many different ways. You can hold it just in the one hand and overlap. You can hold it mostly in your other hand, or you can hold it with both hands on like this. Now again, feel free to change up the range of motion and change up the movement pattern, because as long as you're feeling the obliques and you're feeling the rotation in your hips as well, you're doing it right. So it's nice to get different stimulus sometimes. You can go from high to low. It's actually called a cable chop. It's actually called a chop. You can also go low to high. You can also go low to high, which is called a lift. And you can even do isometrics. Hold it here, contracting, for let's say 5 to 10 seconds. Nice and controlled eccentric on the way down. And that, my friends, is a few examples of how you can do core rotational exercises with a resistance band anchored to a post. If you like the in-depth how-to nature of this video, our YouTube channel has over 500 videos similar to this that go in-depth and teach you the proper way to do different exercises.